line 27. Gamar Tov, everyone. Welcome to our Yizkor service. As we've been discussing, one main metaphor for this holiday season is that it is a time when the books of life and the books of death are open. And it's being determined which book in which all people fall. But I think the wisdom of this season, whether the metaphor is true or not, is that at the end of the season, the books close. But it feels in these times like we're living in times where the book of death never closes. It's just always open. And the pain of that is incredibly immense. Some of us are grieving very personal losses this year. Some of us are grieving more collective losses, perhaps a collective loss of the Jewish people or the collective loss of the Palestinian people. Or perhaps we're grieving victims of flood, of gunshot, of bomb, of starvation. Some of us are grieving children. Oh, so many children. Some of us are grieving not the loss of an individual human, nor even maybe a collective group, but rather a system or idea that we held dear, perhaps American democracy, or faith in that nations that are meant to represent us will do so and represent us accurately and well. I think some of us, maybe many of us, are just grieving immensely and can't pinpoint exactly why. Whatever your grief is and whatever is bringing you to this service, you are welcome here, and your grief is needed here. Yizkor serves this purpose of collective grief. Often, our mourning rituals in Judaism are collective in that we sit Shiva and people come to us, but we're grieving an individual loss. Here we get to grieve our individual losses together. And to grieve together is so powerful. It's so much more powerful than grieving alone. So tonight, let us grieve together. I introduced a practice 2 years ago that I have found really moving and transformed by, which is making space at this service for you all, anyone who has lost a loved one recently, in the last year perhaps, to come forward and to share something about this person with us, a story, an anecdote, a snippet, whatever is on your heart about this loved one. And between each share, we'll integrate with the song we were just singing, Eli, Eli. Sometimes I begin by sharing. I'd say this year my losses have been more collective rather than individual, and I really am eager to hear your shares this year so that I can be fortified by you all, the loved ones you had in your life, and hold them with you. So I'm going to invite anyone who feels called to come forward, to take the mic, to share a story of a loved one. With an eye to time, the service for transparency is scheduled for a 45-minute span. So try to track how much time you're taking as you share so that we can hear from as many people as possible. And before we do so, I just want to bring into the space, maybe many of you have heard, maybe many of you haven't heard. I've only heard indirectly from all of you that there was an attack on a synagogue in England. I don't know if it was yesterday or today, but during Yom Kippur services, in which at least 2 have died and others are injured. And so we're holding them also in this space, knowing that that it's a time of so much unsafety for so many of us, including us, the Jewish people, and may this service together be a safe space, and may we grieve the memories of those lost in this attack on this Yom Kippur. So with that, and with holding them in our hearts, if you're feeling inspired to share of your loved one, invite anyone who feels called to come forward. Is that Tala coming?
I just wanted to share a little bit about my Uncle David, who's actually my husband Chester's Uncle David Hartso, and he died this year. He was a peace activist, and he went to Howard University, and he worked for civil rights in the South, and he also worked internationally for peace and justice. I can't really tell you all the places that he went because there's too many, and I don't think I was paying close enough attention, sadly. But I know he spent time in Chiapas and Kosovo, and he has worked with many different, to bridge differences with many different groups, but his own place that he was living and coming from was as a Quaker. And he was a very optimistic person in the sense that I never felt like he gave up or would give up on peace. So I'm trying to remember him these days.
Thank you. Remind me, David, right? David. So let us remember and hold David in song, the words of Eli, Eli on page 927. Thank you, David. You can also, we don't all know each other, so you're welcome to introduce yourself as well when you come up. I should have said that.
Hi, my name is Judy Rosenfeld, and my mother died a little under 3 weeks ago. She was 100 years old, and a story that I like to tell about her, which I would like to emulate, is that she had a woman helped her clean her house for years, and this woman developed a cancer and had to stop working, but my mother paid her full salary until she died. And she didn't think anything of it. My mom, she just said, well, that's what you do. It's normal. And she wasn't an activist, she wasn't out there, but she would defend women in any way that she could, and this was one example. Her name was Harriet.
Harry. So we'll integrate Harriet's memory and hold her with us. Eli, Eli. Eli, Eli, Shelo yigamer leolam. Avol ve'hayam, rishon shel hamayim, be'rak hashamayim, tfilat Adam.
Hi, I'm Lisa. My cousin Harris Salzberg died this year. He was my father's first cousin, and I did not have a good relationship with my father, and Harris was a bit like a father to me. He was a connection to me, to my New York Jewish lefty intellectual trade unionist side of the family, and I reached out to him when I was in college, and he's like, oh, he took me to a diner on the Lower East Side and told me about the family, and we connected. He was very witty. Once we were talking about therapy, he said, oh, I've been in therapy since the Eisenhower administration. And he went to a wedding and he was describing someone's skirt. He said, the skirt was the size of a dish towel. Anyway, this was his humor, and we miss him.
Lisa, what's his name one more time?
Harris.
Harris. So we'll hold Harris's memory in song together. Eli, Eli, Shelo yigamer leolam. Avol ve'hayam, rishon shel hamayim, be'rak hashamayim, tfilat Adam.
Hey everyone, my name is Zachary LeBeau. I'm the membership coordinator here at Shalom. So if you haven't met me yet, please come up and say hi. My uncle died unexpectedly this year. He was barely 60 years old, and he had a fatal heart attack at the lunch table with his wife, who watched him die. My cousin is now an orphan. His mother died when he was 5 from cancer, and now he is alone. We're trying to be with him in these moments, but it's it was a shock and it's hard. So his name was Gennady Fagenberg. He was born in the Soviet Union. And he had a pretty hard life growing up, but he was a very good man, very gregarious, very friendly, and an amazing host, and funny, too. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, Zach. We'll hold his memory in song.
I'm Charlie Varon. My mother-in-law, Barbara Levy, died about 3 months ago. And it's a bit odd to be remembering her in a Jewish service. She was, I don't know, I guess inoculated against Judaism as a child, and would have, I mean, we would be saying the blessings on Shabbat over the candles, and her lips stayed sealed. We loved her dearly. I met her when, she died at 94. When we met, she was 47, I was 19. We were both on trial for civil disobedience action against the Diablo Canyon nuclear power plant, back when nuclear power was an absolutely evil thing, before we knew as much as we know about climate change. She was a wonderfully irreverent person. It was through her that I met Myra, who became my partner. And our kids, Myra had the idea that we should all live in a sort of family compound. So we lived in 2 flats with Myra and our sons, Jonah and Jeremy, upstairs, and Barbara downstairs. And she became their 3rd parent, their refuge, and according to them, the one who kept them sane. The escape from their crazy hippie parents. She and I, in the last years, one of the things we liked to do was to sing old songs together. I have a fascination with music of the 40s and even earlier, and Myra does not. So when she would be called away, we had the evening ritual of doing the New York Times spelling bee together, but sometimes Myra would get a call, and I would immediately put on, by Mirbis Duchesne, or haven't felt like this, my friend, since can't remember when. It's been a long... And we would sing together. It was lovely. She was an incredible reader, tuned in to the end of her life, to what was going on. One time in the last year or two, she told me she remembered the day that the Germans invaded Poland. And her father saying to her, "Pay attention, this is important." And there was a sense I had through her of a link, somebody, and I had this with my parents as well, the link to someone who had lived through the Depression, through the World War II, that continuity. But politically, to give you a sense of her, the 45th and now, alas, 47th president, she only referred to as Schmucky. So, we miss you, Barbara.
Thank you, Charlie. Let's integrate her memory in song.
Everyone, my name is Neilah. My mother died 13 months ago, yesterday, I guess. And I was thinking about what to say about her, and I think of two memories. One of them is more a story than a memory. My father died when she was 45. She was widowed at age 45. And she would, I think, sort of as a meditation maybe, she would hold out her hand in the yard in the winter. He died in the winter. And chickadees would feed from her hand. And the other thing I wanted to tell is something much more recent, which is that she decided maybe 2 weeks before she died to not get treatment anymore for what was killing her. And she had been really worked hard to stay alive. Went to the hospital 3 or 4 times a week, getting blood transfusions and things. And then she decided she was done. And anytime we did anything for her, she would be like, "Are you sure this isn't going to keep me alive longer?" I was like, "I'm done here, right? This isn't going to..." It's like, no, really. And then one day she was sitting in my sister's kitchen eating coffee ice cream, and she loved eating coffee ice cream. She would eat it from the pint carton and just scrape the slightest little bit with her teaspoon, and she could make a pint of ice cream last a really long time. Anyway, she said, "I love being alive." And my sister looked at her and said, "Well, wait a minute. You love being alive and you want to die?" And she just took another bite of her ice cream. Louise.
Let us hold Louise's memory in song. We have time for maybe 1, maybe 2 more shares, so if you're feeling called.
My name is Tara, and my mother, Elaine Kahn, died in January of this year. She was 102 and 5.5 months old. She wouldn't want much fuss made about her after she died. She was a woman of brevity. But she also she was an adventurous explorer, but she embodied fortitude. And in the months since she's been gone, it's reminded me of the fortitude that I'd often read about in the holidays about our forefathers. And my mother was a warrior. She was so tough, and she was very, very funny, especially in her last years. She was sharp as a tack, and she was an amazing, remarkable woman.
What was her name again?
Elaine Kahn.
Elaine Kahn.
Yeah.
Let us sing Elaine into the room with us. Eli, Eli, Shelo yigamer leolam, Achor v'hayam, Rishon shel hamayim, ve'ad hashamayim, tfilat
Hi, everyone. My name is Chase. This is difficult to do. I'm grieving a friend and a comrade named Auda Hathalin. He died 2 months ago, and he was killed. Auda was a young man who I've known for 6 years, and he lived in a place called Kher that is in a region called Masriyata in the West Bank. And if anyone has seen the film No Other Land, this is the region that film takes place in. And 2 months ago, he was shot and killed by a settler. And there's a lot to say about him. He was a father to 3 young, beautiful children. And he was just an amazing human being that was fighting for freedom and for safety for his family and his village, and really for liberation of everyone everywhere. He was extremely committed to nonviolent civil resistance and fighting for human rights. And I guess the last thing I want to share is that someone else recently wrote really beautifully about this kind of superpower he had, where he, over all of his activist years, he really turned this gift of hospitality into a weapon of resistance, that he turned his own generosity and hospitable spirit into an organizing tool, where he ended up connecting with thousands of people that since have been mourning him and fighting for justice for his memory. And yeah, that spirit is something that I'm trying to incorporate into the way that I do this work. And lastly, just that this, he and his family are still fighting for justice. The person who killed him has not been tried or anything. So it's a struggle that's continuing today.
Chase. And I'll just add that I think many of you had the chance to meet Auda because he actually came and spoke to Or Shalom in November or December of 2023 over Zoom. And I think that's just a mark of the hospitality that Chase is speaking to as well. And so we sing for Auda. Thank you to everyone who shared a story. Those names and stories are just a few of the many who are here in this room who are being grieved and mourned. So in a minute, but not yet, I'm going to read the Yizkor list, after which we will chant a song called El Malei Rachamim, which is a song that is also chanted at funerals. It's often thought of as this chant that helps the soul to find rest, that often soon after one passes, it's said in Jewish thought or certain strands of Jewish thought that the soul lingers near the body, the soul lingers near their loved ones, and they need a little help being told it's okay, you can leave us, we'll be okay, and you too deserve rest. And so we sing El Malei Rachamim for them then, and we continue to sing it for them at each Yizkor to say, may you continue to find rest and peace wherever you are, however you are. And so I'll read the Yizkor list of folks within the Or Shalom community, loved ones of Or Shalomers who have passed in the last year specifically. And then I'll also invite anyone in the room to share names of anyone who you are here to say Yizkor for at this time, after which we'll recite El Malei Rachamim, which you can find on page 1028 in your Machzor. But I would love to invite up our ark openers before I read the Yizkor list. Is that you, Debbie and Marianne? To stand up here as we read the list, and then we'll chant our song. So at Or Shalom in this past year, we have lost the loved ones, Bobby Bresler, Gennady Feigenberg, Lynn Ludlow, Gwen Putnam, Ron Resnick, Phyllis Thurm, Auda Hatalin, Barbara Levy, Arthur Gelfand, Mark Lieberman, Elaine Douglas Kahn, Josie Zaman, Judith Cutler, and Sheldon Cutler. And if there are any names that you'd like to add, not just recent passings, but any names you'd like to add, I'll invite you to do so now. So for all those named and all those unnamed, we'll turn to page 1028. I invite you to rise and body your spirit as the ark is opened and we recite El Malei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim Shochen Bamromim Hamsei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei HaShechina B'ma'alot Kedoshim V'taharim Kazochar Harakia Mazirim Lenishmot Yakirenu Kedoshenu Shechalchu Leolamam Anabal Harachamim Hastiretem B'tzechel Kamfecha Leolamim Utzror B'tzror HaChaim Et Nishmatam Adonai Hu Nachalatam Vayanuchu V'shalom Al Mishkavam V'nomar Amen. And we'll continue with Mourner's Kaddish for all these loved ones on page 1032. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba. Be'alma divrach yerutei ve'yomlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dachol bei Israel. Ba'agala uvizman kariv yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach leolam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha brechu Le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'yimru amin Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amin. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amin. May their memories be a blessing. May their memories hold you. And I'd love, you may be seated, I'd love to invite Yorate to share with us a poem at this time about our loved ones.
Before I read this poem, I just wanted to say, when Rabbi read this to us several Shabbats ago, I was so moved, I went home and printed it out. And ironically, you just said, the souls need help going where they're going, and yet this poem is kind of the opposite of that. And it is just, I hope I make it through reading this. Anyway.
One thing to add is this poet, Greg Gibson, passed away about 2 months ago now, themselves, yeah.
Love letter from the afterlife. My love, I was so wrong. Dying is the opposite of leaving. When I left my body, I did not go away. That portal of light was not a portal to elsewhere, but a portal to here. I am more here than I ever was before. I am more with you than I ever could have imagined. So close, you look past me when wondering where I am. It's okay. I know that to be human is to be farsighted. But feel me now, walking the chambers of your heart, pressing my palms to the soft walls of your living. Why did no one tell us that to die is to be reincarnated in those we love while they are still alive? Ask me the altitude of heaven, and I will answer, how tall are you? In my back pocket is a love note with every word you wish you'd said. At night, I sit ecstatic at the loom, weaving forgiveness into our worldly regrets. All day, I listen to the radio of your memories. Yes, I know every secret you thought too dark to tell me and love you more, for everything you feared might make me love you less. When you cry, I guide your tears toward the garden of kisses I once planted on your cheek, so you know they are all perennials. Forgive me for not being able to weep with you. One day you will understand. One day you will know why I read the poetry of your grief to those waiting to be born, and they are all the more excited. There is nothing I want for. Now that we are so close, I open the curtain of your eyelids with my own smile every morning. I wish you could see the beauty your spirit is right now making of your pain, your deep-seated fears playing musical chairs, laughing about how real they are not. My love, I want to sing it through the rafters of your bones. Dying is the opposite of leaving. I want to echo it through the corridor of your temples. I am more with you than I ever was before. Do you understand? It was me who beckoned the stranger who caught you in her arms when you forgot not to order for two at the coffee shop. It was me who was up all night gathering sunflowers into your chest the last day you feared you would never again wake up feeling lighthearted. I know it's hard to believe, but I promise it's the truth. I promise one day you will say it too. I can't believe I ever thought I could lose you.
Thank you so much, Arate, for sharing those words. And for all of us, may those words of comfort and may these songs of comfort be a balm in this time of immense loss. We'll turn to page 3 on your supplement sheet for Hamakom Yinachem Atchem. Hamakom Yinachem Atchem B'toch Shahar Avelei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May you be comforted. May you be comforted with the mourners of Zion and the mourners of Yerushalayim. May you be comforted with mourners everywhere. May you be comforted. Hamakom Yinachem Atchem B'toch Sha'ar Avelei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May you be comforted. May we find comfort at the very least in one another. So with those words, we begin to transition from Yizkor into our Neilah ritual. And I'm realizing, were papers handed out by any chance? They were? Can I have one? This is great. People are so on it. Thank you so much. So as we make this transition from our Yizkor service into our service of the closing of the gates, we'll sing together the song to open up the gates. Take care of yourself as you need as we make this transition. Do you have your drum? Open, open up the gates for all who gather here. Open up the gates for all who seek your presence. Open, open up the gates of compassion. Open up the gates of wholeness and peace. Open the gates, for you're gonna shout out something, and we're gonna open those gates too. Open up the gates of. 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 Open up the gates up really loud. Open up the gates of liberation. Open up the gates for all of us. We transition from Yizkor to Neilah because we are carrying through our loved ones to the other side with us. So may we open up the gates just a little bit longer this Neilah. I'll invite you to turn to page 1142 as we say, keep them open just a little bit longer. We have a few final prayers to say. We have a few final things to apologize for. We have a few final things of which we ask forgiveness of ourselves. And so, 1142, are there, it looks like Robin and Lisa are going to help open the ark. Amazing. So Robin and Lisa are going to open the ark. We're going to sing the words on 1141 in transliteration or 42 in the Hebrew that continue onward. And as we sing, I invite everyone forward onto the bima while we're singing to have a moment with the Torahs, Torah Tot, to greet them, to have a moment to whisper your final prayers, your final confessions into the Torahs as we close out our night together. So come forward when you feel ready. The ark will be open and the Torahs will be here for you to receive. Join us on the bima and we'll close out all up here together. Page 1142, I invite you to rise in body or spirit. El Nora Alila. to page 1162, the 13 attributes. Feel free to continue visiting with the Torah. Take care of your body as you need, and as we invite in all the compassionate qualities of the universe. Turn to page 1166 for Ki Anu Amecha. We are your people and we beseech goodness. Page 1168, the Ashamnu, our final confession. Let this be the one. If you haven't let it all pour out, if you are still holding on to something, let this be the one where you finally admit, even if only to yourself, of your wrongdoing. For we can hold it, for you can hold it, for the Torahs can hold it, for the universe can hold it. Ashamnu 1168. Yai dai 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 dai. Ai ai dai 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 dai. Ai 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 ai. Ashamnu bagatnu kazalnu dibarnu dofi. Ai ai dai dai dai. Ai 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 ai. Ai dai 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 dai. Hevinu behirshanu zadnu chamasnu tafalnu sheker. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yatsnura kizavnu latnu maradnu niatnu sararnu avinu fashanu sararnu kishinu oreb. Ay 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 ay. Ay 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 ay. Ay 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 ay. Rashanu shichatnu tiavnu tainu titanu. Ay 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 ay. Ay 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 ay. Ay 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 ay. And we do one more confession, or Shalom's collective vidui, authored by all of you. I invite you to hold these two with you, just as our traditional ones. We have otherized even when we bristle at being otherized ourselves, accused others without examining ourselves. We have left the work to someone else. We have been judgmental. We have succumbed to groupthink and confirmation bias. We have loudly proclaimed our values without acting on them. We have poisoned the earth, the air, the water, built an economy based on weapons and prisons, failed as a nation to live up to a land with liberty and justice for all. We have allowed wealth to concentrate in the hands of a very few, allowed racism to increase and flourish, allowed others to speak for us without voicing our opposition. We have failed to take in new information that may challenge our existing beliefs, failed to halt the continuing catastrophe in Gaza and the West Bank, failed to interrupt the steady erosion of democracy. We have not done enough to protect our immigrants, friends, and neighbors, not done enough to protect our democracy, denied our culpability as Americans in the sale of offensive weapons. We have avoided wrestling with all that confuses, shames, and pains us, done in the name of Jewish people. We have hurt another when we are hurting. We have failed as a people to be a light unto the nations. We have gossiped, laughed, not spoken up in places where our ethical core knows better, gotten angry at people near to us over small differences out of frustration with our inability to affect the larger, horrendous situations. We have let our tears block from view actions we can take. We have turned away. We have turned away. We have turned away. Ve'al kulam Elohai selipo selach lam page 1182, Besefer Chaim, one last time. May we be written in the book of life. Besefer Chaim, beracha v'shalom, u'farnasa tova. Baruch Adonai, Osei HaShalom. And as we near the end, as we near time for our final cries, we turn to Avinu Malkeinu. First, we will cry out our final prayers. Avinu Malkeinu, what do we need from our Avinu, our Malkeinu, our force in the universe that makes for goodness and makes for the fall of injustice? We're going to cry it out, after which we'll sing in this force, a force so strong that nothing can be in its way. But first, let's call out what are our last prayers that we are yelling to the universe at this time. Avinu Malkeinu, what are your prayers? Yell them out. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu. And all of us all together, let's shout out, Avinu Malkeinu. And our loudest prayers, let them ascend. 1186, we sing in this force. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Baneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Baneinu, Ki ein banu masi. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, v'hoshienu. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, v'hoshienu. And we sing one final time. If you have your supplement sheet, there's lots of good finals here, right? All of our best hits, Adon HaSlichot, page 8, but really the only words you need to know, Chatanu lifanecha, rachem aleinu, we have done wrong, but have compassion for us. Adon HaSlichot. Adon HaSlichot. we're arriving at the very end, and a few different things are about to happen to close out this container. One is that we are going to do a series of calls. First, it's the Shema 1 time. Then it's the line Baruch Shem Kavod 3 times. Then it's the line Adonai Hu HaElohim 7 times. After which, we get a big Tekiah Gedolah to tell us our holiday has completed, and we will sing our way into Havdalah and into food and the new year. But first, before all of that, we have like 17 shofrot up here. So if anyone would like, whether you've blown shofar before or never ever before, would like to try blowing shofar for this big Tekiah Gedolah. Yeah, okay. We got so many. I think everyone should take one. Yes. Oh, that one looks hard. Try this one instead. Yeah, do both. There's. Oh, there we go. Anyone want my Anyone want my personal one? Okay. Well. Yeah. Switch. There's more where that came from, So if anyone else wants to give it a go. Was there someone who said yeah? Oh, okay. We're going to pass the shofar. Pass them back. Pass them back. See, I don't know. We'll see. They'll make their way. But before we blow, we're going to say our final calls to end this holiday, that we are all one. Blessed is that oneness, and may we all revel in it. And so you can join with me on page 1190 for the words Shema once, Baruch Shem 3 times, Hashem Hu Elohim 7 times. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Adonai Hu Elohim 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 Tekiah Gedolah. Hit it. Woo! And we sing. to invite you to draw close together for Havdalah as we sing our way into this year. May it be a better year than the last, and may our teshuvah be part of that bettering. Page 1194 if you want words. I would tilt it over this maybe. Grape juice. Actually, no spices because it's not Shabbat. May we have a good and sweet year filled with blessing, filled with goodness, filled with all the right kinds of teshuvah, and may we turn toward each other when we most want to turn away. And we sing ourselves into our break fast in all the rooms. Foods are over there. There's courtyard seating. There's indoor seating. You'll find it. Just smell your way there. But let's sing our way there with, oh, we should bless the bread first. I lied. Ready? So let's touch somebody who's touching someone who's, we got to bless before we eat. It's so true. So if you want to connect with someone who's connected with someone who's connected to the challah, and we recite, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Enjoy, everyone, and let's sing. Same thing. say are right. It's not Shavua Tov. It's not Gamar Tov anymore, is it?
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to make sure you all got some.